Alright, what was I doing before? Nah, no viewers yet. Don't think there will be. But heck, if somebody stumbles upon us later, they can always watch it later. So, ooh, need to change that in the options. So I just got a new laptop. It's a pretty beefy little thing, so forgive me. Some controls. Nope, wrong control. Alright, hold to sprint. Kick that off. I prefer the toggle sprint. At least it's still not. Uh-oh. Let's apply this. Yes. There we go. There we go. We may be adjusting some things later too. So welcome. This is my little laboratory. I don't know if any of y'all have seen my setup before. Any of you YouTubers that aren't here yet. But anyway, so for people who have followed me on Facebook and Reddit and seen my work, no, I still haven't gotten my reactor done. Yes, I plan on completing it. Just doing a little building and whatnot. Don't think too much into this particular YouTube live stream. It's more of a test thing because I'm trying to, give it a shot, get it started, see what happens, see what people like. Alright, so there is my dictator. That is my boss right there. Alright, he is telling me to load that. And as you can see, I am on phase 8, or tier 8, whatever, complete phase 4, and haven't touched a single thing into it yet. Why? Because of the thing he's standing on. My nuclear reactor facility. Alright. But before we get into all of that, we're going to have a little walkthrough, starting from the front of my facility. I may edit and dumb this down later. I don't know if you can. I haven't done it before. So I don't know who else here has gotten this far in Satisfactory. But, oh yeah, so I'm supposed to be doing a walkthrough. Scatterbrain. Oh god, can't get through doors. I've been spending, 600 something hours? Still can't figure out how to get through doors. Okay, so this is the front of my facility. Now, you might be asking yourself, why? Why do we autosave? Okay. Why did he encase that? Well, it's kind of obvious. I started building my factory. It was small. It wasn't very big. And what wound up happening is that as I continued to build, it got bigger. I needed space to build. And this little smoggy, smoky area was quite an inconvenience. There was no way to get rid of it. So instead of actually destroying the area, I made a nature preserve. Who knows if the devs will eventually one day utilize those gas creators, gas pillars. I don't know the names of things in this game, so forgive me for when I just make things up. Okay? Ooh! Okay. So, walking in, I have my little billboard showing the things that you might find in this. Alright? I was going to have this as a lizard doggo area originally. I even put foundations underneath the ground and just kind of glitched it through the ground, hoping the lizard doggos wouldn't fall through. But then it started becoming that they actually get harmed by that gas cloud. So this is no longer a viable lizard doggo pin anymore. Moving on. So anybody who's followed me on Reddit or whatnot, or on not Reddit but Facebook, you'll see that I started making random sculptures in the mix of my creations. For those who are Final Fantasy players or not Final Fantasy players, and I have to explain it, this green stripe wasn't there before. I tried to put green on it before. You know what? Since we're here, let's go ahead and do it. Custom swatch. Oh. I don't do a lot of painting, in case y'all can tell. Green. Cactar, he was a pretty dark green. So let's get it darkened down a little bit. I think concrete appears darker than its original color, so let me give that a go. So yeah, that's Cactar. No, backside. I'm glad they finally fixed the color swatch on this, but at the time when I built him, the color swatch wasn't working for the concrete. So I applied it, but never actually finished it. Okay, so this area would be the original site of my factory. Oh, let me get rid of the swatch. Alright, now, mind you, my factory did not look like this originally. There was a lot of rebuilding, reconstructing, and refiguring. In fact, this setup back here, let me turn on some light. This setup back here was really just, I guess you could say, a snake of conveyor belts that were stacked on top of each other that were like 10 high. And I would feed through these ports up here. This roof, this drop ceiling that I have wasn't even here before. Eventually, it became so built up and cluttered in here that I had to start tearing down walls and realize that having a drop ceiling with these elevators going up into it is far more effective. Let's see here. Alright, so this is just kind of my main assembly area. Y'all saw me start in my manufacturing area. Oh, auto saves are great. Well, you know what? For this string, I think I'm going to turn auto save off, or maybe make it to every 15 minutes. Is that a thing? Is that a thing? User interface, maybe? Am I missing something? Whoops. Did not want to go there. Did I... Wow, right in front of my face. I assumed it. Okay. Let's make it 15 minutes. Alright, and apply. Confirm. I'm assuming this saves to YouTube when I'm done with it. I don't mind that sound. It's just my printer deciding that it wants to clean. Really. My first live stream, and you want to do this? This is what we do? This is what we do. We're not going to wait for it. Okay. Yes. Alright. We're going to do every 15 minutes. What was I talking about? Who am I? What's my name? Oh. Anyway. So, going through here, this is my main manufacturing area. This is basically where we get all the basics. Alright? Good Lord. When you try to make a freaking YouTube live stream. So, I made storage units like this. Now, I know people are going to talk about the clipping and the belts. Please pay it no mind. I like it. It looks neat. I started doing a thing, and then things started getting interlaced with other things, and I just like the way this sets up. So basically, I made a storage tower. I have 3 storage units high, and then I have belts that wrap around and feed upwards into it as it fills up. Okay, so I have a pretty huge buffer on it, but that's not the only thing. All these belts running out are heading out to a main conveyor line that feeds to my manufacturing setup. Alright. A lot of times, if I really love a concept, I am not going to worry to have I'm not going to worry so much about the belts clipping too much. Sometimes I will get obsessive in certain areas about items clipping into the belts like this. Don't like it, but it happens. And then these go up into an elevator shaft. Oh God. You may think I have fat fingers with the way I play sometimes, but I don't think I really do. So they go up into an elevator system, which is right there. Ignore the clipping. And get fed out into conveyors up at the top. And I'll show you what the conveyor system looks like coming out once we get up to the top floor. Oh, and just so y'all know, this is my steel manufacturing level. Oh, steel and caterium processing, I guess you could say. You asked, and I deliver, I guess. People wanted to see me do this. I guess what I should have done was post that I'm going live. But, I mean, you know, if you decide to watch it whenever you watch it, I mean, it's pretty much the same as going live, right? Right? I don't know if I'll actually make live streams a habit, and I'm getting lost in my own factory. It happens so often, especially since I haven't spent much time in it. It's mostly been in the reactor facility. Oh, so much time has been spent in that reactor facility. This area, I'm telling you, I've rebuilt this thing like 3 or 4 times. And I think I finally have it how I like it. I don't have any ammunition manufacturing going on right now because of the update 6 and all of the changes that happen with it. So, you know, that's not really a thing at this point. Alright, so this is my manufacturing floor. And what I wound up doing with this, at one point I had these tops closed off, I just haven't closed them back off again. But the way this floor works, you know how we had the assembly floor? Well, the materials go up an elevator shaft, and basically separate out into this conveyor system that I'm in here and into my manufacturing line. Oh, for those of you who hadn't seen it, when I did this and realized that I need to start ignoring clipping when it comes to building buildings, make some unique designs. I was so proud of this. Just having my hub built into the building. Because we actually did not start in my hub, which is where I wanted to start in my original live stream. So we're going to go down into my hub. See, my hub has some fun little music playing. I believe this is Sanctum, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Sanctum 2. I played Sanctum a very little bit when I first started gaming, getting back into gaming a little bit with my buddies back in the military. But I never really got that much into it. I was into other games at the time. But coming from my hub, I can go into the workshop, which is also built into the hub. I finally did this. I'm going to have to get more statues. And there's my awesome shop up there. Coming out of my hub, go straight into my manufacturing area, which has all my belts going out here. And they wrap around and go down into other buses that come out behind the manufacturers and go underneath the floor and feed the manufacturers in each one of these rooms. It's not pretty in these buses, so try not to overthink it. I did glass floors at one point because I thought it would be cool to be able to see the materials running through, and the more I realized that clipping is just getting ugly, the more I think one day I'm going to change this, but I'm not certain. So, the way this works is all of these in the front are pretty much the manufactured components from the manufacturers. Alright. What I have... I thought I had a door going down the sides here. I guess I didn't have a door. Going down the sides is storage units that receive the materials for the manufacturers. Basically, I have access to everything that I'm making out of this room. Except for ammunition. And also, this is kind of my main point that I pull from if other facilities need materials. And usually that is transported via train. I'll show you where my train station is. Yeah, at first I was just going to play with the reactor, but now I'm just sitting here giving a walkthrough tour. Talking to myself, acting like I'm actually talking to people. It's great. It's fantastic. Alright, moving on. So here's my train station. This is my fluid train station, actually. Originally, I had planned for more fluid receiving in this. And then I realized these buffers were causing some issues. And so I didn't do as much as I thought I needed. Either way. These ones aren't really causing that much issues because they're not... There's not a lot of it going on right now. But this guy, I needed a lot of this stuff, and it needed to be coming straight out of it, and the buffer was actually slowing down the process. I don't think that's how it's supposed to work. Alright. So, I'm trying to remember, how do I get down to my second floor train station from here? I thought I had access to that. I did so much slapping things together. It's not a good idea to walk on train tracks. Not safe. Oh, but I do hear a train. And this is my materials train station. This train, it's a long train. It's probably not the most efficient way to do things, but I really don't seem to have a lot of patience for building train tracks. I know it's sad to say. For me, for now, it's just easier that I follow on my own train. One big train. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Words are hard. Moving on. So I figure I'll ride around so y'all can see some other things here. Go on a little train ride here. Oh, look. There's my original quarry where I first started. And there's my spider that I got so many reviews on. I was a little shocked out of everything I did. I think the spider was the most popular thing that I did. Oh, don't mind that. It's just something. Yeah, ignore that. Anyway. Oh, that is my turbo fuel power plant right there. Now, right now, I imagine at the rate that I'm going, eventually all of this is going to get merged or bridged together somehow. But I don't know when that's going to happen. This game, I do a lot of winging. People say that you got to plan and prepare and all that stuff, and yes, many things you do have to plan and prepare, but I mean, if you can improvise and not be afraid to tear something down, that was my biggest problem in the start, was I was so afraid to tear down things. But don't be afraid to tear down things in this game. If you don't tear things down, things are just going to get in the way of each other. So this is my coal power plant / gunpowder producing / more materials, general materials producing facility. Yes, I have fantastic names for these things. Alright, but this was actually my first pretty building I actually thought out and planned. But, as you can see, I have this tendency, once everything starts to work and function the way I want it to, I just kind of move on from my building. See what I built? Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't have that. Hold on. Where's? Okay, there we go. I haven't seen combat in a long time. Let's do this. Somebody was saying they were hostile toward me. They're just standing there. Are we bugging out? Oh, nope, we're not bugging out. Okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So the way this was intended to function, and you don't have to do things like this. You may have to in the future, and it may be useful for you starting up, it may not, but I just thought it would be cool to be able to control this coal factory, and having it being a hybrid gunpowder factory at the same time. So all of my coal actually feeds into the power plant area underneath, right? All of my water pumps are connected to these switches. If I want to deactivate a power grid that's within here so I can get more coal to feed the gunpowder, I can by deactivating these switches. And then the coal will route up to the gunpowder manufacturers up top. that is how I did this particular setup. I was so proud of myself when I did that. And I actually had a control room set up, which ultimately, I just, until my reactor is fully built, I'm not too worried about it, but I actually have a control room set up at my main factory. See, here's my vision for this place. I have this. That's done. That's complete. The underside, not quite. It's mostly complete. This is supposed to have a roof, at the very least. Then you go over here, and this is supposed to be an enclosed train station. Now, this track is sloppy because this was the first track that I laid. It works, so I haven't messed with it. But this is going to be an enclosed train station at some point. Now the question is, where is the combat? I guess you don't really call that combat, it was more murder. But hey, yeah, you know, we all have different standards, I suppose. Oh, somebody did not get authorization to be hostile toward me. And I did not authorize my rifle to reload. There we go. Moving on. And here we go. Where's my train? I'm not going to sit here waiting forever for the train if it's not almost here. It is not. It is not at all. Oh, in fact, it's on my eyesore. So, around update 5, I hated the Red Forest. I just despised it. I was trying to think and plan how I was going to do my train system. Oh! Sorry, back. How I was going to do my train system to get all of the bauxite and aluminum out from there, because my aluminum factory is up there. And every time I would try and scout out a path, I would die somewhere in the Red Forest. So, eventually I just said screw it and built a big ass bridge that led straight to my factory, up and over everything. It's a pretty cool ride, and I also had to tweak the bridge because this was also when I first started playing with train tracks. I didn't realize you couldn't really get train tracks on 8-meter double foundations or 4-meter foundations. It's too steep, apparently. So I went through building that bridge a certain way and trying to throw columns to make it look supported, but after going through all that, I had to go back through, delete it again, and rebuild it on 2-meter foundations. 2-meter ramps. So, yeah. There's that. I see a lot of players in this game get disheartened by the fact that they built a thing in the very beginning and it's getting in the way of itself and they're too scared to rebuild and move on. The biggest thing with this game is you cannot be afraid to tear down what you have built. I can understand some things get kind of sentimental, like your first factory. That's why I never tore down my first factory. I just kept expanding it. This is my first factory. At least on this world. I did have a world before this that was like, I think I put 50 hours into it, maybe 30, 50 hours, something like that, and then I destroyed it because I realized that you can elevate conveyor belts, or conveyor belts. There were so many conveyor belts running along the ground and it was getting in the way of the explorer. And I got so mad because I was getting frustrated with it, and then I realized you can elevate them, and I could have been building things completely differently. It was infuriating, but at the same time, it was nice to know. But anyway, moving on. So, I'm pretty sure most of y'all don't really want to see all of the other stuff right now. I think we'll just get down to the coup de grace. So, I'm having a brain fart. I'm kind of having a brain fog at the moment. So this is my reactor site alpha. I may rename this thing because after all of the time I've spent building this thing, I kind of don't think I'm going to build another one. I might. Who knows? I'm not somebody who's fixated on trying to make things perfectly efficient. I am more just as long as it works kind of a person and looks cool. The looks cool part is less of a priority. So, let's start with looking at our water. There's our water pumps. Alright, and that's the show. We're done. We're done. Okay, no we're not. So, as you can see, I have power lines strewn all across this place. My intended plans are to get rid of these power lines. Like this guy. Look at this guy. I thought it was a neat trick, you know? I could make things elevate. He's just floating. I didn't know. Okay. No, there was something built there, and I just deleted it. But anyway, the reason these power lines are here, and I'm sure most of y'all who've played can guess, is so I can fly around this place and do my building. Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, and people say, just put in a fly mod. Put in a fly mod. I feel dirty doing that. I'm sorry. I'm playing this game the way the game's meant to be played. And I don't mean that in a bad way or nothing. I just... I don't like doing things like this. But my focus has really been just building this place. So usually I'll try to keep things as immersive as possible when I'm playing a game. That's one of the reasons why I don't play with mods. Because games are designed to be a certain way. And sometimes mods have a tendency, with me anyway, to destroy my appreciation for a game. Sometimes they can enhance it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked here. Let's get back down. Alright. So, down here is where I have all of my water pumps that feed my reactors and my sulfur bits. I actually started out with this. I built an elevated floor that would fit water pumps. I had always hoped that the devs would make something like a hydro dam or something like that, and that's what I really wanted this waterfall for. But as I'm looking at it and seeing where they're going with it, I don't think a hydro dam will actually happen. It may, and you might get that in some mods or something. But once I got to the reactor, I had ideas of where I wanted to put it, but ever since I started this map, I've wanted to build something on this waterfall, and I just kind of felt like since the reactor needs so much water, why not? You know. So anyway, so I have my train station getting materials in from my main factory, and it comes in here and then feeds down to here. Now this room, I have plans for this reactor facility to be more self-sustaining instead of relying on the factory. So this room is actually, there are plans in the future to have materials made here to feed the reactors. I plan on accessing nearby iron nodes and all of that stuff. I've already had to access some concrete nodes and things like that to properly feed this place. But there's nearby iron, deuterium nodes, and all of this other fun stuff that I will be using. The bauxite I may have shipped in by drone. Ultimately, this train station will go away. I'm pretty sure. It's kind of cool having the train station, but it's not really what I wanted at the very beginning when I originally built this. Or I could just keep the train station for aesthetics and sentimental reasons. A lot of, I mean, heck, the place I worked at had train-loaded cargo areas that they never got rid of. That instead they just repurposed into something else. And I may actually just do that with this. So anyway, going into here, we go up here, and this is where all the good stuff is made. Alright. I have sulfur refineries back here. Oh my gosh. The stories behind the sulfur balancing gave me such an aneurysm before. I did so much math balancing out, trying to figure out why my sulfur is getting overloaded in this, and ultimately I'm trying to remember what it exactly was. It was pretty much something that slapped me in the face like I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. Because what I realized was I think my numbers were coming off of no, they were coming off of this, creating 20 encased uranium cell per minute, right? Okay, I'm having a brain fart here. What the heck? I'm trying to remember exactly. Well, either way, my numbers were getting screwed up, mostly because there was something I overlooked, and it seems I've lost what I overlooked. I don't know. What the heck? Per minute. Oh, I'm underclocked. Okay. Oh, brain fart. Okay, so at 100%, I think these produced 25. And these only used 20. So these kept getting overstocked. So my sulfur was not getting used. Everything was getting built up. And then when this got built up or bound up, then the sulfur would just get clogged in the system. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I need to underclock these and then rerun my sulfur calculations. And I created a bypass. Originally, I did not need this, but I thought I did. But this basically regulates, only 7 per minute is all I need of excess sulfur coming from my sulfur refineries. And that sulfur balancing took me so many hours to figure out that I'm an idiot. But you get that a lot when you play this game. especially if you start dabbling into trying to balance your materials to make a system that isn't going to cause you excess waste, block up on you, so on and so forth. It's fun. Lots of fun. It keeps you up at night. It's great. It's great. Oh, maybe I should guide you through the proper way to get up there. Here's a secret. There isn't really one. I haven't finished that much of the cosmetics. You know what? We'll just have a look at the backside. Just for the fun of it. Since we're back here and all. So my original plan for this reactor was that it was going to be a uranium-plutonium reactor facility. First level was going to be uranium, second level was going to be plutonium, and I was going to be like, yeah, there's no way I'll spend all the time to store up this area of plutonium waste. Because what I built over here was a waste facility in the water, because water contains radiation very well. That's not just straight in the water before anybody gets all crazy with me. No, it is a contained area in the water, fully contained by concrete. And this is planned to be filled with storage units that are connected to each other by conveyor belts. Same way I daisy chained in the other place. But now I'm just thinking this may become an abandoned project because I didn't realize I was producing enough materials to run all 24 off of uranium. And I can just have the plutonium fuel rods run into waste. I like the idea of plutonium reactors. And I like the idea of what I was trying to make, but at the end of the day, I feel like that would turn into a huge headache later if I tried to start working with plutonium. And I have more than enough power than what I need. I may expand on the reactor facility and add an additional wing for plutonium later. Who knows? If the power demand becomes high enough. Who knows? And this is my uranium that is being brought in from the red forest. Sulfur that's being brought in from actually my area that had the my coal, the power plant, my coal power plant. Oh, let's see. Moving on. I could talk to myself all day. Still don't have any viewers. I know I'm probably doing something wrong. I'm sure there's something wrong that's going on. Let's see here. Probably once I post it, I'll just kind of send a link to the post that I did. For anybody who actually wants to watch, fast forward through it, have a look-see at the things that I'm doing, look at my madness of my creations. Who knows? Okay, so you've seen the first floor, more or less. Here is the control room. Alright, ignore that. It's just an access hatch. Remember, this place is still under construction. Okay? Now, the ceiling on this place did exist at one point. Y'all may have noticed that. For those who've seen the video. So anyway, in the control room, I have it set up to where I have control over all of the machines that create these different items. Alright? This is not set right. Just ignore that. Oh, I wonder, did they ever fix the... They still don't have it. One of the things that bug the crap out of me is they have signage on here that you can label, like these, but you still can't label them. If somebody knows how to label them, please let me know in the comments. Oh, of course there's no comment showing up because I still have zero viewers. Anyway, So what I have designed here is, I think I'll do balance. What can hold for a second? You know what? Fuel rods. No, we'll do this one. I just don't want to throw anything off. So the way I have everything wired is if I hit a switch here, I want to deactivate something. It's red. I have light indicators. Alright. These are just basically to control what the color of the lights are going to be. Or if I want to have the light indicators on or off. Yeah. So, anyway, moving on. Pressing A. The red is always static. These guys control the green light. Because if I wanted to, I could just, turn that off, still get the same thing. And there'll always be a red light. Why will there always be a red light, you ask? How did I do that? The red lights are controlled by this. Alright, and that's wired to every single thing that has a red light indicator. So, no. Let's say here, turn this off. Alright. Go over here. Oh, wait. We'll just drop down the access hatch. This is why I have it. Alright. And when we look into our windows, we can see all the green lit areas, right? And I'm looking at the wrong thing. I didn't turn off a manufacturer. I turned off an assembler or another manufacturer. Whatever. I didn't turn off all the uranium fuel rod reactors. What I turned off was the blender. But which blender did I turn off? Well, let's see. We have our green lights here. We have our green lights here. We have... Am I feeling special at the moment? One of these is missing a... Oh, here we are. Here we are. This one is deactivated. Everybody else is on. This is a much easier display to show at night. And also on, I think, the earlier edition of Update 6. It may have to brighten up things a little bit. Because this is supposed to be kind of glowing red. That's kind of how it was before. But either which way, I have green indicator lights showing that they are active. And I have red, I guess it's back there, to show inactive. A lot of fun wiring, Wiring is so tedious. I'm actually very grateful that they have the wire very simplistic in this game. So anyway, turn that, and it's back on again. This is still work in progress. I plan on having all of these lights, panels controlling the different floors and levels and all that stuff. What we have over here, and the intended purpose for this, is to control our water output, our water power, and all of that one day. But, as you can see, these are control valves for water supply for the reactors. And this is the underfloor of the reactor facility. So coming up into we're going into a mild radiation zone. There's 0 to small amounts of radiation. I intend to create one of these, going all the way down it, and I haven't finished it. Actually, I did have a full belt at one point, but during my construction, I pulled from these for materials because I didn't feel like going back to my factory. I didn't fill in the holes! Excuse me while I fill in the holes. You're not supposed to see this. This is top secret. Alright? You're not supposed to know that it goes through here like this. No. Oh man. I didn't do any detailing on that. It's okay. It's okay. So there was one person on Facebook that actually had a brilliant idea. Okay. I don't like feeling like I have to make elevators and all that stuff. I mean, a lot of this game and a lot of games in-game design is what appeases the eye. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that don't make sense. So clipping is okay, as long as you can't see it. If that makes sense. You know it's there. You know it's wrong. But you use your imagination a little bit. After I built this, a tunnel automatically made a hole through there. And it's also concrete, okay? Concrete is the second most widely used resource in the world. The first most is water. But one of the guys, I can't remember his name. If I could remember his name, I would actually throw a shout out to him. I can't remember his name. Now, I do it a little bit differently. But he pretty much just suggested you build a wall that goes into a tunnel, and, you just do your conveyors into a wall like that, so it makes it look more legit. If you want, you can take that off there, and then it goes up and tunnels out. It goes into a quote-unquote imaginary tunnel. Oh, and after getting distracted by that, let's continue our tour. Here are my 12 reactors, my first floor uranium reactors, right? All the uranium fuel rods come up through the floor and go through this little track system that I have in here. That goes in here, and this is an elevator going up to the second floor for fuel rods. Okay? And there is a waste output on the back side of this column that comes out and goes out through here. And then it tracks out and goes to basically the uranium waste refinement area. Alright? If you don't like balancing things, crap, what happened? If you don't like you balancing things, don't build a freaking nuclear reactor. Just stick to the turbo fuel generators. Okay. We are producing more of something. And I have to figure this balancing crap out again. My sulfur's still balanced. Why are we getting backed up? Hold on. We should not be getting backed up because we are producing 50 per minute, right? 50 per minute. Let's do the math together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. That's 300 per minute. What do we have here? 100, 200, 300. So that means our waste is not being pushed fast enough. We're not getting waste fast enough. Why are we not getting waste? Oh, I remember, and I never finished it. Crap, I never finished this. Okay. So, originally, and I realized what the problem was the first time this happened. It hasn't gotten to a point where it's completely backed up the system yet, because it would take a very long time to get that screwed up. But the purpose actually would never actually completely back up, to be fair. Once everything stacks up and all that stuff, then everything will, flow smoothly and easily. But the problem with this is the radiation footprint. if you keep everything flowing effectively, evenly, you'll have a much lower radiation footprint. All of this sitting here is causing the footprint to expand. All of the radioactive materials building up in the machines is causing the radiation to expand. And we don't like that. So, that is going to have to be something I'll have to adjust later. But I totally forgot that I originally had a manifold system here, right? That's what this is. The old system. And that caused imbalance issues. So, what I did, I know it's not pretty, and I didn't really want to take the time to make it pretty because I'm really getting burned out on balancing this machine. But I made it into an even 4 splitter, basically. So we have one barrel go into each one of these. I thought that you can do that with the programmable splitters and make it go one here, one here, one here, and one here, instead of however the heck it is I'm trying to explain it. Because with a regular splitter, you get an even 3 split. I needed an even 4 split. I thought with the programmable splitters at some point, I don't know, maybe I just assumed it, but I thought you could program it to dispense out one area every 4, or whatever. Every 4th uranium waste, you get to have it dispense out. And that way you can maintain a manifold system that looks much cleaner and prettier, and it would just spit out a uranium waste for every count of 4 that drops into here. I don't see why they don't, but I'm also not a programmer. I'm getting into game design. I haven't gotten that far into it yet. I'm just getting into my design as part of the classes. But I feel like that wouldn't be a complicated effect, and it should be done on the programmable splitter. Maybe not the smart splitter, but the programmable splitter, you should be able to say for every 4th item, spit over here. And maybe that is coming, who knows. But anyway, so I had to do that ugly thing, and it started running a lot smoother, but I've played a bit since and wound up with this. And totally forgot about this waste. But either which way. Coming up here. I don't want to go up here like that. I've actually been doing more work on the 3rd floor. I haven't been touching the 2nd floor. Why? I don't know. The 2nd floor, it's going to look really cool. But it was probably more had to do with the fact that I had inspiration for the 3rd floor and had an idea of what I wanted to do while I was up there, so I just started doing it. I don't plan very well on this game. I tend to sporadically bounce back and forth all over the place. Okay, so this is my 3rd floor. Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, so it was aggravating me to no end that they just had this in the metal configuration or the iron configuration. I was so excited when I realized that, hey, I can do these in shiny concrete. I can start making some awesome columns and things like that. The only thing I wish is that you could build this, but horizontally, instead of just straight up vertically. Because I would do this as like main pipelines and things like that. To do air quotes drainage or sewer lines or whatever. And you could theoretically do it with the half pipes like they are. Quarter pipes like they are. You can make it into a pipe, but the outside wouldn't be rounded. It'd just look like a square. And that's a little frustrating to me. That's a little mildly infuriating. I for those of you who don't know, I watch other YouTubers. I'm not really sure what the rules are with that. I'm not sure if you can throw out YouTuber names, like mainstream YouTuber names. I still have to learn all the rules with that. But, I mean, I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not getting monetized or anything like that. So, yeah, we'll just throw out Jack Spadicy. Yeah, I watch him a lot. Jack Spadicy, Corpse Husband, all that stuff. I love him on this. It's a fun little game. Need to get into the mods with it. Anyway, moving on. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, I'm still working on enclosing the areas and all that stuff, and I have new ports for my pipes that come up to feed my reactors. And the doors, yes, the door design. I will light up these doors eventually. I just wanted to just get the main door in. Okay, and one of the other things I love about the new shapes that they got was that I could enclose this a bit better, so it doesn't seem as much of a hazard. Now, this room is really not meant to be a room to hang out in. As you can see, breathing in all of this radiation exhaust. I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm not really sure. I don't know nuclear physics that well, so I don't know if the steam coming out is just simply steam, or if there is a radioactive property to it. I do know the steam is primarily there for cooling purposes of the radioactive material. I don't think there's actually radiation in the steam. But what I did here was I just made this room to be basically an exhaust ventilation type room. They could just throw some fans in to make it look even cooler. That gives some effect to it. And these are my second floor uranium reactors, once going to be the plutonium reactors, but it never happened. I'm still working on different enclosure designs and all that stuff on this third floor. But I guess one of the reasons why I wanted to work on the third floor so much is because it had such a cool looking atmosphere to it when I built it. I didn't even mean to build this, to be honest with you. This originally was supposed to be a box with some reactors in it. But I was like, you know what? Nuclear, I don't know why I'm fascinated with it. Any game that's like this that has a nuclear reactor in it, I always try to work my way toward it. It started with Minecraft with the big reactors mods and all that stuff. And I would be spending hours just building on those reactors and how they're set up. The good old days. I was doing stuff like this before Satisfactory even existed. But anyway, moving on, this is the recycling area that recycles out sulfur and nuclear fuel rods. And this is where I get my big money at. I have 19 coupons. I just recently cashed out. I still have recyclers elsewhere, but it took me until late game to realize that I should be having recyclers on every part of my factory. I could be getting coupons for days, but I didn't. And I still haven't. Just everything else that I built from this point on is going to have recyclers onto it with overflow splitters. And I think that's it. I think that is my nuclear reactor facility. Yeah. So, I think I'm probably just going to end this here. I went ahead and gave y'all a walkthrough, mostly because I know some of y'all are looking out for it. Maybe like a handful of people. And I'm not positive when I will be able to invest the time into working on this again, because I have now started playing games with a buddy of mine, as well as playing games with my son, and having to do school for game design as well on top of that, and they are having me play certain games. So my main objective was to get this front end built, and what actually my actual plans are is both sides are going to be fully enclosed. It's going to be similar architectural work to it. I mean, with those new builds, I'm sorry, not new builds, but new pieces that they brought in, making something look like this is not going to be very difficult. Alright? So, these parts really made it pop. What was difficult, and what would be difficult for any new player, is to understand how to inset a wall into foundation blocks and columns. Because that makes all the difference in the world on what your building looks like, is by insetting the materials. Now, the way you want to do this, now I'm going to go ahead and show an example for anyone who wants to see it. Since I'm here anyway, probably could have done this somewhere that actually needs it. But let me go ahead and pop a wall on, just so y'all can see what it would look like. As you can see, you have your foundation square, right? And your wall is going to want to be on the edge of that foundation square. So how the heck do you get it inset? What you do, you have to unlock these. If you don't unlock these change the game on everything. I use them for building and for basically lining things where I want them. You basically will center. There's different ways you can do it, but this is my favorite way of doing it because it's least confusing for my brain. You get the small pillar, you center it on the foundation block. Alright? And then you grab what you want and then you line it up on the middle of that pillar. Right? On top of it. And then you delete the pillar. And then you just snap another wall or window to the one that you just placed. It seems like a really roundabout way of doing things, but I'm sure that probably has more to do with programming and trying not to conflict. I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but it's not working. Yeah, it's just probably trying not to over-conflict with other functions when it comes to placing items and objects and trying to have things lined up. Because without the ability to line things up perfectly, it would be so difficult to keep track of things. It would be even more tedious. So, I mean, having a placeholder and things like that for building isn't the end of the world. In fact, it probably actually helps you do the bulk of your build the way you want it. Just use those placeholders for little details and things like that. But, I mean, you can do big, long walls real quickly after you have that little trick down. You do that little trick, and then you can just zoop off of whatever you do. Alright. And, oh, well, of course, my bridge. So you know and you appreciate this bridge. You must appreciate this bridge. There are bridges that are just bridges, and I have bridges that are just bridges. But this bridge is in fact a bridge. It's not just a bridge, it is in fact a bridge. Okay? See what I'm saying? It is in fact a bridge. It's not just a bridge. The reason why it's in fact a bridge is because I actually did structural support to it. Oh, it was so frustrating too. Do you know how many times I died working on this thing? And no, autosave really. No. There's water down here. There's land. What? 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 Wait, what? I mean, wait. What? They put bottoms to the bottomless voids. Well then, I think that was a good note to end it on anyway. Yeah, no, no, no. I guess I'm gonna have to go to that one because it's just autosave too. Why not? Let's load the autosave. See what happens. Maybe. Oh man. I'm gonna have to load that clip. Oh, this is quick load. This is for a different group. Anybody who follows VLDL or Viva La Dirt League. If only this wasn't that loud. I might have to recreate and edit the clip. Yeah, there's no coming back from that. Yeah, they filled the bottomless pit. Hold on. Let's see if I can be fast enough. Oh, I don't have my jetpack equipped, do I? Nor do I have any. If I don't have my jetpack equipped, then I don't have the fuel with me. Nope. No. No. Wait. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Wait. No, it's no. They just okay. Looks like they're planning on filling it. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's see. We're gonna try again. I'm gonna see if I got skills for this. I'm old. Just so y'all know, I'm old. I'm an old guy. I'm a whole 35 years old. Yeah, I'm starting on some of this stuff a little late in life. You know. I'm over the hill. Not really. Gaming's for chill. Dude. Nope. Dang it. Can I get a ledge? Yeah, we're going to. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I was able to show you guys the entire reactor. What's being worked on, what still needs to be fixed with it. Obviously, the first floor is pretty much done. Just needs like details, like neon lights and things like that. Second floor is pretty barren. It's pretty barren right now. it's going to get a lot of inspiration from the third floor that I'm working on. So, and the third floor is definitely under process too. But the third floor has pretty much got the bulk of what it's going to be. There's just going to be a little bit more partitioning of rooms and things like that, adding some signs and stuff like that. Plan on having some motivational posters and things like that in there. Once my reactor is finished, there may be a point that I actually come back. I do have some other project builds that are planned. My kid wants me to try and build Godzilla, and I'm actually planning on taking that on as a challenge. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I do know it's going to be a factory, and it's going to be one of the factories that supply my nuclear power plant. That much I know. So when that comes, when I actually start doing that, I will actually be doing either live streams or just posting videos of it. I feel like posting videos may be the better way to go, because honestly, with this game, doing live streams, I don't know. I mean, maybe I just don't get as much entertainment out of the live streams as most people do. But I like to edit videos and make some pretty cool stuff out of it. So anyway, anybody who, I would say thanks for watching, but nobody watched the live stream because y'all probably didn't know it was here. I didn't want to just be like, hey, come watch my live stream, blah blah blah. I didn't know if that would be considered self-advertising or anything like that on Facebook, or on the community pages or anything like that. But you can post videos and links. So I don't really know how that works exactly. I just don't want to step on any toes too much. Because I mean, if creating content winds up being a thing I like to do, I'd like to keep it going. But keep in mind, I've never really done this before, and I just feel like I've gotten a little bit of motivation from the Facebook community on Satisfactory, as well as Reddit community as well. So that's why I'm giving it a shot. I mean, I've had a couple of people even ask me, hey, do I stream? So try not to judge me too harshly. I'm a new guy at this. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you for anyone who comes upon this and actually watches this all the way to the end. And, you know, maybe I'll develop more of a personality. Maybe y'all like my personality. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm going to go ahead and